नहीं चलेगा, नहीं चलेगा। जिंदाबाद, जिंदाबाद।
Parliament is actually meant to be a place for debate, for discussion, for contrarian views. I can vividly remember the debates on Bofors when Rajiv Gandhi was Prime Minister of India. It's thrown up some tremendous debates, excellent speakers, excellent parliamentarians. I remember once Madhu Dandavate was in the opposition and he was querying a minister. And the minister said, feigned ignorance. He says, I'm sorry, I don't know. And Madhu Dandavate's retort was that for as far as I know, there is no fundamental right to ignorance in the Indian Constitution. If parliamentary proceedings are not reported upon, you're depriving people of an insight into what is happening in Parliament. It's a right of journalists, it's a right of people to know what is happening.
To state the obvious, watching Parliament at work is watching democracy at work. This is really where you get to see where the laws of the land are made, as well as debates on the most important issues of the day, issues that concern the nation. And finally, this is the place where the government has to tell the truth. There is no obfuscation, really. The government has to answer questions from the members of Parliament who are representatives of the people. They have to be available, they have to be accessible. So by tampering with any part of the process and the reporting of the process, the government is actually tampering with democracy as it was envisioned by India's founding fathers. In the last year, 2 years, we have seen a gradual stopping. So while the government does say that they are blocking access because of COVID, sometimes it's because of Central Vista construction. Sometimes there's just not enough space in Parliament for the press to be there. Various reasons, restrictions have been put. They're all arbitrary.
In both peace and crisis, the media plays a key role in the holding parliamentarian accountable. Hence, restrictions on access to media must only be made to extraordinary circumstances and for a limited time period only.
It's absolutely bizarre, the kind of new rules that have come in, where there will be a lottery system whereby which journalists will be chosen on who can cover Parliament. In the existing Parliament, there's space for over 100 journalists. Now, if only a handful are going to cover. If parliamentary proceedings are not covered, how will people know whether their issues, their grievances have been ventilated or not? People need to get to have a window into what is happening. If journalists are not there, who's going to report what is happening? You have the official coverage through Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, through Sansad TV, but then that's sanitized. Central Hall is a place where parliamentarians, ex-parliamentarians and senior journalists who put in at least 15 years of regular coverage of Parliament, only those people are entitled. There you sit in an atmosphere where the cameras are not on, where you can sit and talk and discuss issues but in a debate issues in an informal atmosphere. But now even that privilege is being denied. Earlier, the excuse was that because of Corona, because we need social distancing, therefore we need to limit the numbers. There was this fear, and we've always had this lurking fear that the government is not very happy, hasn't taken very kindly to journalists being present there, and is probably using this as might use this as an excuse to keep journalists out. And now our worst fears are coming true, because journalists are not only not being allowed in Central Hall, even now our passes have not been renewed.
there's the sense that if you can watch this on television, but it really is not the same. There are nuances inside Parliament that it is a journalist's duty to find out about and to respond. Who agreed with the bill cutting party lines? Who disagreed with the bill, cutting treasury lines as well? The nuances of where a legislation has been changed, the nuances of what the government said when it was put on the spot, because it's not just about answering questions, it's about answering counter questions from the opposition and sometimes from members of their party. What you're doing is essentially tampering with a very vital link between the government, between the legislature, between the representatives of democracy and the people themselves.
Well, we've heard nothing from the government to suggest that probably they are doing the rethink. I hope, as a journalist who's covered Parliament for more than 3 decades, that the good sense will prevail, and that the government will see reason and restart this process of allowing journalists to start covering Parliament once again and remove the restrictions. It's unhealthy. It does nobody any good. Shutting the doors of Parliament to journalists is certainly not what the framers of our constitution had in mind. I've covered Parliament for over 37 years, and it's provided me a ringside view of events. People opposed each other bitterly, but it was all a part. People took it on the chin. There was nothing personal, and you went on with the game. Now, sadly, unfortunately, volume has replaced substance. And today, ironically, we are talking on the anniversary of the demolition of Babri Masjid, which is December 6th. And the stirring speeches made by Chandrasekhar. If you recall the mood, it was very somber, very, very depressed across the nation. Chandrasekhar, Indrajit Gupta, and Nitish Kumar. I mean, to my mind, the kind of speeches made, it went a long way in having a salutary effect.
The Press Club of India, journalist organizations, the Indian Women's Press Corps have all come out, not just writing letters to the government, but there was a massive protest as well by journalists. Journalists are expected to get used to a new normal. As it is, we are seeing new normals in every department. Departments where journalists could walk in easily with a simple press information bureau accreditation, which should allow them to government offices. Those are not allowed anymore. Now journalists are allowed in maybe for a press conference. Press conferences are no longer held regularly by ministries. Ministers are no longer available for comment on a normal basis. They are no longer available for interviews, particularly for tough interviews where the questions haven't been pre-decided. If you use COVID as an example, after all, during COVID times, it is possible to make sure that everyone who comes in has had an RT-PCR, hasn't had an RAT, is masked at all times. This is what you're doing in different parts of public sphere across India, across the world. So why is it just at Parliament that this is stopped or that press access is stopped? I think there's something much, much deeper behind it. I think there is a desire by the government really to try and curb as much access